This is for the install of a double apex 12 volt garage controller. It's getting installed in a Mark 6 Golf TDI, and there's a lack of videos on YouTube for the Mark 6 version on the install. So I just wanted to take a step by step and document it. That way it's out there for anyone else that may be looking to do this sort of install. Everything came packaged very nicely from Double Apex. I pulled everything out and made sure all the pieces were there. Everything came, as was labeled in the little manual. And we'll kind of get going through the steps of the install. Steps 1 and 2 I actually did off camera just for the need of both hands to do it. Step 1, putting the battery in. A little note on that, it does take a little bit more force than what you would think to get the battery slid into the unit. So just a little note on that. Everything went in fine. You just have to push a little bit harder than what you would think. Programming the remote, essentially what you're going to do is press and hold this button here to start the program sequence. Using the appendix, once this little LED lights up, you're going to use the appendix to see how many times you need to push the button. This particular unit is set up to where I can run actually 2 garage doors. I'm only using the one. For mine, it was a Genie IntelliCode, so you press it, I believe it was 6 times. While the garage door's in learn mode, press this button again to turn it out of the program mode. And I did have to press the button a few times while my garage door opener was in learning mode, and it actually then tripped everything and opened and started closing the door. So maybe a little note on that, depending on your garage door model, it may actually require, once you've hit the button in the correct number of pushes, it may require you pulling it out of learn mode on the unit itself while your garage door is still in learn mode, and press the button a few times to get it to cycle your garage door opener. Next steps involve doing some stuff out in the vehicle itself. It does recommend using a trim removal kit or trim removal tool to pop this piece up. I would highly recommend it. You could probably get away using a flathead screwdriver. Don't know that I'd want to go down that path though. Popped out very easily, started in the back, got this worked up. There's a little lip in the front here that I got a hold of with a different trim removal tool. Pop that up. Quite simple. It slides out of the way, and it does provide access then, as the instruction guide indicates, access to two torque screws, which Double Apex kindly included a T20 torque tool to remove those. So we'll go ahead and get those removed. Once you get the 2 torque bits or torque screws out, the console will actually pull out, give you access to unhook the ESP button, and also the 12 volt plug. Just to give you an idea of the location of the actual clip, there's a small little tab here that you just push on, and it pulls out quite easily. And then on the 12 volt, kind of the same. There is this little push piece here, slid out quite easily. The next couple of steps here, they do get a bit tricky when it comes down to it. You want to remove your trim panel piece here. That pops off real easy with the trim removal tool that I was using. One of the things that I ran into, you can see I have the unit double-sided tape to the actual trim piece here. The reason that I had to do that is the instructions indicate it should fit in this area right in here by the this metal bracket. In fact, it does not.
The unit itself will fit, but when you go to plug the wires in, forget about it. You may have some luck if you want to put it down here on the side of the glove box. I didn't. I'm going to make sure to leave myself a little extra slack when I tidy everything up, and finish it up, to be able to remove this trim piece and get in to access the wires. But that's removing the trim piece, feeding the wires down. You do have to remove the foamy fabric piece right here. That is covering similar to where the cabin filter is on these cars. I did run it over, and the lighting is not the greatest, but you do run it over to the trim piece here. One thing that I would highly recommend, and I didn't show it on the video, the actual console piece here will pull all the way out. Go ahead and do that. It's going to require two hands, one reaching down from the top and then the other feeding it from back where the wires are showing in. It's doable, but it's definitely a two-hand job. I also didn't show it on film, putting the what do they call it, the connectors that were included to tap into the existing wiring that is underneath. It was pretty simple to do, but again, two hands, and I would not want to drop any of those pieces down into this center console area. Getting access to get them back would probably be quite difficult, and I wouldn't want to have to worry about doing that. From there, once you get the wires routed, tied into the existing wiring, you pop out the blank, put the button in, redo all the clips, and test it out. I'm going to skip that on the video here. I did test it, everything works well, and now it's time to just put things back together as they were. The other thing would be taking this excess wiring that's down here, zip tying that together so it's not low hanging, and that I'm gonna kind of skip doing that. Most everybody should be comfortable doing that, but that's the install of the Double Apex 12 volt garage opener kit.